Hey guys, it's Merce. Welcome back to Harpies in the Trees. Today I'm going to be doing a small book haul. Just some books that I picked up over the last couple of months with one or two gifted books in there. A few of these books I'm really excited about because I had been just really looking for them and I couldn't find them or get them anywhere from my locations that I get books from. So I am pretty happy that I have some of these in here. I'm very excited to get to them and start reading them. I just wish that I had three heads, you know, like kind of like a Cerebus type thing that could read three books at the same time. That would be super nice. The beauty of books is just knowing that you have something else lined up that you really want to read. And I just remember those days of not knowing where to even start reading. When I came back to reading, I just didn't even know where to go. I didn't know who to ask. I didn't even know exactly what I was looking for, but that's all gone now. I know exactly what I want and what I'm into. And so it's been really making it a lot more exciting to find books, and also just following these really great booktubers and Instagrammers posting books that they're reading and sharing, you know, what they thought of these books. And also what I love the most is when someone posts a picture of a book but also shares a synopsis so that, you know, I can see like, okay, I love the cover, but like, you know, what's the story about? And I just save them in a little TBR archive. So it's just really nice and really exciting. It's like treasure hunting constantly, and once you finish one, you can just start with the next, and I love that so much. I am doing some experiments in lighting, also in just the settings of my camera to get better resolution and just a whole entire better raw files when I'm shooting for these nighttime editions. I don't really know much about that stuff, but since we have just passed the 666 subscriber, and whoever you are,
the mark of the beast to you.
And thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed. You are just really keeping my creative energies going, and I really appreciate that. I'm doing a short film just to celebrate. It's just an excuse to do something fun and creative. So I'm taking one of my favorite characters, Evelyn, from A Taste for Monsters, and I'm going to do a scene from the book, just a small one, but I'm making her way creepier than she is in the book. She's a very non-creepy person, but I'm gonna turn her into something a little darker. This will be a challenge, but I hope that you guys like it, and I will post it as soon as it's done. I'm aiming for the end of this week, so fingers crossed. So I have 10 books here to share with you, and hopefully you see something that interests you. And if you've read any of these, you know, shout out to me, let me know like what you thought about it, if you think I would like it, or you know, if there's something similar to it that you think that, you know, I would really dig, let me know. Let's begin. I picked up this book, the 17th Fontana Book of Great Ghost Stories, based on the cover alone. The cover is magnificent. I just love this shrouded ghost. Looks like she's sort of has a secret, or she's laughing at you, you know. I really love that. This was printed in 1981, and it has some familiar names like Stephen King, Agatha Christie, Jerome K. Jerome. I haven't read anything out of it as of yet, but I didn't really, to be honest, get it to read it. I really got it for the cover. This is just sort of more of a show-off piece, I think, in my little library than anything else, but it is very, very cool. On the back it says, "Eerie tales by master storytellers of gruesome ghosts, mourning ghosts, even contented ghosts." I think that's a first. I don't think, have I ever read a book of a content ghost? I'm not sure. In the lamp, a spectral child claims a friend. In the shot tower ghost, a wager is kept from beyond the grave. In Welcome Manor, an actor's vengeful spirit returns to a television studio. In Which One, a ghost is born. There are 13 more macabre stories in this haunting collection. I saw this book the same time that I saw the Fontana Ghost book collection. And I don't know, there was something about the cover that kind of called out to me. It's very 90s with this digital swirling that's happening, but it's called The Haunting, which of course caught my eye. It has a very interesting synopsis. I'll just give you the gist of it. The book takes place in 1866. There is a young man named Oliver who has the gift of exorcism and divining spirits. He's asked by an archbishop to investigate this house that seems to be having some troubles. Some like pools of blood forming on the floor, a woman dressed in black walking the long gallery, the sound of knocking, cries in the night, and hurried footsteps, and above all, a sense of malevolence. Oliver also has a nose for research, so he dives into the family's history and he finds some disturbing secrets. So this one sounds very good, very promising. I looked it up on GOODREADS and it had some pretty good reviews, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting to The Haunting by Paul Doherty. This is a vintage 80s publication of Cabal by Clive Barker. I picked this one up because one of my, I guess, prompts for myself was to read Clive Barker this year. I don't really know his work at all, I'm sad to say. I do, of course, know Hellraiser, which is, to me, one of the greatest horror films ever. So I have a feeling that I'm really going to enjoy his work. I just haven't ever got there for some reason. So I have this. The cover is really stunning. It's very beautiful. It just has so many details in it that it's just kind of mind-blowing. It also has these really cool, sort of like ink blot illustrations, and there's a nice handful of them in here. And they're really, really cool, really disturbing, really lovely. I'll read what the back says. Boone knew for sure there was no place on this earth for him, no happiness here, not even with Laurie. He would let hell claim him, let death take him there. But death itself seemed to shrink from him. No wonder, if he had been indeed the monster who had shattered and violated and shredded so many others' lives, and Decker had shown him the proof where the victims were forever stilled, splayed in the last obscene moment of their torture. Boone's only refuge now was Midian, that awful legendary place which gathered to itself in its monstrous embrace the half-dead. The Nightbreed. Exquisite Corpse by Poppy Z. Bright was recommended to me by a few people after I did express a lot of love for Wormwood, which was a collection of short stories, which I thought were really, really awesome. And I loved the writing style. Bright's writing style is raw and dirty and edgy and kind of punk rock and, you know, sexy. And so it has all of these, I don't know, it just has this it has a underground feeling to it, and that's what I really love. Exquisite Corpse is about a serial killer who leaves England and goes to the US. He finds himself meeting this playboy, and they decide to team up together and become a duo of murder. The Pan Book of Horror Stories. This was originally published in the 50s, but I think it's been republished quite frequently. This specific edition was published in 2010, but I really do appreciate that they did take the original cover from the 50s. The artwork is just amazing. I love this cat. This book was gifted to me by Bookish Marie, which I really appreciate. This was so cool. I was just so oh my god, this cover is gonna go so well with my other, just these other graphic covers that I'm slowly kind of collecting. I'm not really a book collector for vintage, but if the covers are calling my name, I just gotta get them, So this was very cool. I'll read you the back real quickly. Stories of the uncanny jostle with tales of the macabre. Stories of subtle beastliness, like raspberry jam. Oh wow, that sounds kind of cool. Of sickening horror like The Fly or His Beautiful Hands, and of utter chilling terror like The Horror in the Museum, the perfect bedside book for those who have nerves of steel. And I love how it says in the back, fiendish and fantastic. The House of Spirits was given to me by my boyfriend's mom, and she gave this to me for Christmas. It's in English, thank God, but it's by one of her favorite writers, and she was like, it's the only book that I love that has ghost in it, and so. But from what I can tell, a lot of people really love this book. It's a drama, I think it's type of a saga perhaps, about a young girl who is clairvoyant, but she also has telekinesis, and she can tell the future, so she knows who she's going to end up marrying, and it turns out to be this really kind of terrible, cruel landowner. And swirling around, you know, these things that are happening is also like the politics and revolutions that are happening in Chile, I believe, at the time. I'm curious to see like how these powers play out in the politics of her country and also the politics of her home, and how are these things going to come together if they do at all, and what kind of revolutions are we going to be seeing. So a lot of people expressed, I posted this on my Instagram and they were just like, I loved that book, it's amazing, you're gonna love it. I've been trying to get my hands on some Chad Lutzke for a while, and just recently a John Bowden book, but I haven't been able to find where I can get them. They're not available in the places that I get my books from, and if I go to the newer bookstores, they just don't have this, because in Germany, I don't know how popular these authors are. So I couldn't find them, but I did find them on a UK site, so I got this book and I'm really, really excited about it, just because, one, I've been seeing so many books by Chad Lutzke, you know, through my Instagram, and I've been reading like just what people think about them. I've been reading the synopses of like different books that he's had. I listened to an interview he did on This Is Horror podcast, so, you know, I'm pretty interested to see what one of his books is like. And John Bowden, Bookish Marie, actually recommended a book. I can't remember it now, but I'll put it on the screen. That sounded so amazing, and I want it so badly. And as soon as she talked about it, I went looking for it, but I could not find it in my UK sites that I go to. I don't normally buy things from the US because of shipping, and it takes forever and whatever and all that kind of stuff. So I was really excited when I came across this on my UK site, and I will just read the back of it for you really quickly for those of you who don't know what it's about. The boys crept to the window and watched as Miss Maggie carried the long bundle into the barn, the weight of it stooping her aging back. Rafter lights spilled from the barn doors, and Davy saw an arm fall from the canvas-wrapped parcel. He smiled. She got someone. Both children grinned and settled in their beds, eyes fixed to the ceiling. This was family growth. A little vague, so not really too clear about what's happening here, but it sounds like Miss Maggie is dragging a body into somewhere, and it seems like these two kids are pretty stoked about it, which is unusual. So this sounds very intriguing to me. So, Out Behind the Barn. This is another book that I had been eagerly anticipating, and I've just had my eye on this for so long. It's been in my Instagram feed, and people have just been loving it. I fell in love with the cover. I think it is just perfect. I love it. And so I'm really stoked to get into this. I actually made a post about how much I wanted to read this, and the author, Samantha Kolsonick, messaged me and was like, I can send it to you for an ARC if that's cool. And I was like, yes, please. So that was very, very kind of her, and I'm so touched. I can't wait to get into it. And I'm actually kind of stoked that it's not like super long. It's like 145 pages, but that means that I can bang this out pretty quick, so I'm real excited. Let's check out the back. Susie and her brother Lim live with their abusive mother in a town where the stars don't shine at night. Once the abuse becomes too much to handle, the two siblings embark on a sordid cross-country murder spree, beginning with their mom. As the murder tally rises, Susie's mental state spirals into irredeemable madness. This sounds like it's going to be pretty emotional and fucked up. So yeah, I mean, I kind of like that. So. Don't remember why I wanted to get this one, but this is Jonathan A. Cliff's Naomi's Room, Do You Dare to Be Alone? And there's a picture of him in the back, which is kind of funny. He has a very interesting background. He studied Persian and Arabic at the University of Edinburgh, and he's also did his thesis on Shiite Islam. So I wonder like what kind of background that has to do with this kind of book. But it looks like he's written books like Brotherhood of the Tomb, The Last Assassin, The Ninth Buddha, The Seventh Sanctuary, and The Night of the Seventh Darkness. So it sounds like he's probably been writing some adventure for a while. But Naomi's Room is supposedly a classic ghost story. Charles and Laura are a young, happily married couple inhabiting the privileged world of academia. That sounds like him and his wife. life, actually. Brimming with excitement and warm Yuletide glow, Charles sets off with his daughter Naomi on a Christmas Eve shopping trip to London. But by the end of the day, all Charles and his wife have left are cups of tea and cordial police sympathy. For Naomi, their beautiful, angelic child has disappeared. But has she? Has she indeed? The Stygian nightmare of Naomi and others begin. The end of it says, this chilling tale, firmly grounded in reality, rises into realms of terror. It will give you nightmares for the rest of your life and beyond. And beyond? Okay, we'll see about that. My last book is The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. And this is another one of those, I think I had seen, I saw this reviewed by Beautiful Chaos of Books, maybe? I can't remember, I think so. I watch her, I feel like I saw this like on one of her reviews for like thrillers or something. And I hadn't seen it also on Instagram a lot, and I had saved it, so I know that I had liked it for some reason. So I saw it on my online used UK bookstore, so I was like, okay, let's do this. And this is what it says. When she stumbles across the advert, she's looking for something else completely, but it seems like too good an opportunity to miss. A live-in nanny position with a staggeringly generous salary. And when Rowan arrives at Heatherbrae House, she is smitten by the luxurious smart home fitted out with all the modern conveniences, by the beautiful Scottish Highlands, and by this picture-perfect family. They sound like they're robots. What she doesn't know is that she's stepping into a nightmare, one that will end with a child dead and her in a cell awaiting trial for murder. She knows she's made mistakes, but she maintains she's not guilty, at least not of murder, which means someone else is. And it does say here, a ghost story for the 21st century, a propulsive gothic thriller with characters you'll really care about. Creepy, engrossing, and oh so hard to put down. There's a ghost in it, so I'm happy about that. So I'm looking forward to reading this. Oh, and also, look at this beautiful paper on the inside. It's gorgeous. It makes me think of the Corset by Lynn Purcell. So that was my book haul. So that was my book haul that I acquired in the last couple of months. I hope there was something there that interested you. Maybe you want to check it out as well, or maybe you already have it and you want to warn me about it. Please do so. I don't really buy a lot. I try not to buy too much because I know that even this stack of books is not the only stack of books that I have unread. If you'd like to support me, you can hit subscribe and like these videos. And if you like, you can also follow me over at Instagram at Harpies in the Trees. Send me a message, let me know some feedback about the videos, or if you have any recommendations, I'd like to hear those too. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I hope everything is going really, really well for you, and I will talk to you next time.